We all believe that contemporary monarchy equals mounds of gold. But have you ever wondered how they make money and how they spend it? Due to their lengthy history, the royal family has acquired some very remarkable possessions, including large portions of England itself, collections worth billions of dollars, and even a large number of dolphins. Reader's Digest estimates the royal family's net wealth as follows. Prince Harry is worth $40 million, plus $5 million from Meghan Markle. Prince William another $40 million, King Charles III $100 million, and the late Queen herself was worth $550 million. That's over $700 million in all, which is a lot of money. But how did the British royal family spend, make, and keep their enormous fortunes? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel to watch more videos, because they are constantly being created here. Subscribe and click the bell button to be sure you never miss an update. Now that we have that out of the way, let's begin the video. Whether you admire the illustrious British family for their well-established birthrights or their broad spectrum of leadership qualities, they are respected in countless countries. The qualities that royals seem to possess include strength, renown, and most importantly, wealth. The British royal family is very wealthy, with significant oil holdings and large philanthropic donations. The majority of the money used to finance the British monarchy doesn't actually come from the taxpayer, because the royal family in itself is very wealthy. These royals are able to splurge on the finer things in life because of the total of their inheritances, crown estates, and allowances. While we are unable to physically enjoy the extravagant collection of precious gems, valuable works of art, and large stretches of land that make up their lifestyle, we can admire their immense net worth while sipping on a cup of herbal tea, of course, with our pinkies raised in the air. Even though none of us can match the royal checkbook, following these rules of royal etiquette will make anyone seem regal. Before we move on to where the royal family spend their money, let us see how they actually earn so much wealth. Unsurprisingly, the royal family doesn't receive a typical paycheck. Instead, the sovereign grant is used to pay out the crown estate. This is how it functions. The crown estate owns a large number of assets and businesses, more on that below, but it pays the treasury all profits. The treasury then determines a portion of those profits, which is now 15%, and gives the head of the royal family that sum each year. Since that percentage is computed in 2-year arrears, the amount the late Queen received in 2018 was derived from the 2016 revenue of the crown estate. Between 2017 and 2027, that share will rise to 25% in order to pay for upgrades to Buckingham Palace. The 2018 to 19 fiscal years are predicted to bring approximately £82.2 million for the late Queen, though that sum will now go to King Charles. Since the government formally sponsors the sovereign grant, that amounts to roughly 0.65 pence, 0.88 cents in yearly taxes, according to the BBC. Moving on, have you ever heard about private income? The Privy Purse, which is a portfolio of around 45,600 acres of property acquired through commercial, agricultural, and residential business activities, is the royal ruler's private source of income. It earned a net income of £19.2 million, $26 million in 2017 for the late Queen Elizabeth. The Duchy of Lancaster, a private estate consisting of lands, properties, and assets, was established in 1939 as a source of independent income for the royal family. It provides the majority of the income for the Privy Purse, but its income wasn't always so lucrative. The duchy's annual earnings were only £100,000 in 1952, the year Queen Elizabeth II assumed the throne, according to The Guardian, which also notes that the duchy's entire assets are now worth more than £500 million. Also, did you know that minerals also contribute to royal family earnings? Want to know how? Let's see. The financial documents to the Duchy of Lancaster show that the Privy Purse has an enormous mineral portfolio, which runs from South Wales to North Yorkshire. Limestone, sandstone, gypsum, coal and slate are examples of royal rocks and minerals. Additionally, nearly all the naturally occurring gold and silver in the UK is owned by the Crown Estate. And if you reside on the Duchy of Lancaster's property, the royal family does reserve the right to rake your flower bed with a pickaxe. 2,500 people were informed in 2013 that the royal family had the option to dig beneath their properties to access the minerals that the Crown had granted them. Can you believe that the royal family earns money from windmills too? The Crown Estate receives a huge windfall, by renting out seabed assets to offshore wind turbines. For the last 6 years, the Crown Estate has profitably operated in the field of renewable energy. According to the BBC, the Crown Estate earned £22.9 million, about $31 million from its business ties with wind farms in 2016. The estate plans to increase its activities in the future and refers to 2017 as a milestone year for the nation's wind industry. The London Array, the largest offshore wind farm in the world with 175 turbines, is leased from the Crown Estate. Moving on, we all know how much the British love horses and horse racing. Do you know that the royal family earns from horse racing too? The late Queen herself loved horses and horse racing, even if she hadn't formally proclaimed herself monarch of the entire equestrian nation. She owned the Ascot Racecourse, which made £5.1 million in profit in 2016, and owned and bred some of the best thoroughbreds in the nation during her time. The Observer estimates that over the last 30 years, just racing had brought in around $9.4 million for the late Queen Elizabeth II's horses. Although we don't know if the Queen's horses also have a stud career, champion racehorses like Frankel can charge a cost of £175,000 for each breeding session in the UK. Here comes the most important part by which the royal family earns money: the stock investments. Yes, you heard it right. Because magnificent artwork and diamonds are likely never to be put up for sale, the royal family cannot rely on them as a savings account. However, they have an investment portfolio composed mostly of shares in blue-chip British companies, according to the BBC, with a 2015 worth of £110 million, $14.89 million. The late Queen wasn't always successful in her stock market endeavors. She invested $154,000 in a website named getmapping.com during the dot-com bubble of 2000, just before the fall. According to Forbes, the site's overall price plummeted to $16,000 the following year. If you try to search on Google about the property of the royal family, there are a lot of surprising things to see. But what fascinates most is the fact that they also own the coast and generate revenue from it. The Crown Estate owns 340,000 acres of rural farming and woodlands and little under half of the coastline, including 12 miles from the shore surrounding England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Ports, harbors, recreational boating, aquaculture facilities, and 3 marinas are all included in the royal portfolio. The royal family makes money off its wide coastline through various methods, including seaweed cultivation, wildfowling, duck hunting, and marine research. Last year, the Crown Estate's Rural and Coastal Division brought in £49.1 million, or $66.3 million. Now, after an in-depth view of how the royal family earns money, let's move on to where they actually spend it. With a property portfolio currently valued at £12.7 billion, the royal family is the largest landowner in the United Kingdom. The majority, 58% of that portfolio, is made up of properties in central London, where they hold nearly all of Regent Street, residencies for upscale retailers, and almost half of all the structures in St. James's, the district that serves as the hub for the nation's officials. Here's some fun facts you might not know. The royal family also owns a bit of the animal kingdom. Certain animals are considered the monarch's personal property under UK law. This includes unmarked swans in the River Thames, sturgeons, dolphins, and whales. It's amazing to consider that a person or family might lay claim to an entire species, even though an accountant might find it challenging to include these animals in their portfolio. Are dolphins deductible? The earliest known statute governing marine life was passed in 1324 under King Edward II. Swans were first mentioned in the law in 1482. Cattle are one of the favorite things in Britain. Well, the royal family has a few of those too. The amount of property owned by the royal family is staggering. Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, the Palace of Holyrood House, Hillsborough Castle, Clarence House, Kensington Palace, the Royal Lodge, St. James Palace, Bagshot Park, Barnwell Manor, Wren House, and Thatched House Lodge are all under the administration of the Crown Estate. However, because they are owned by the Crown Estate and cannot be sold, these lodges, castles, palaces, and parks won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Sandringham House, Balmoral Castle, Craigowen Lodge, Dilnadanf Lodge, Highgrove House, Lulwyn Tamarisk, Burke Hall, Anmar Hall, and Gatcombe Park are among the royal family's private residences that they can sell. We can't pronounce a lot of the property, but we would surely like to buy it. Moving on, one thing that most women have an investment in is jewelry, and those from the royal family are no different in this matter, except that their jewelry is more valuable than cost. Given that the precious stones have not been properly valued, the cost of the royal jewels is nearly inconceivable. The largest clear-cut diamond in the world and the most well-known piece in its collection is the Cullinan 1, also referred to as the Great Star of Africa. It was last valued at $2.5 million over 110 years ago, with a weight of 530.2 carats and 74 facets. That amounts to almost $62.3 million in today's dollars after accounting for inflation. With estimates of its value as high as $400 million, the diamond is now worth even more. However, that is only one diamond. The 140 items in the crown jewels include 23,578 precious and semi-precious stones, including crowns, swords, and scepters. Though their exact cost is yet unknown, rumors and conjecture claim that the collection is worth more than £3 billion. Visit them at the Tower of London if you want to see them. When you think that the royal family owns every possible thing, then there's something you can't imagine. Stamp collections. Feels weird? Since the late Queen inherited the Royal Philately collection from her father and grandfather, George VI and George V, the Queen had one of the most priceless stamp collections in the entire world. The enormous stamp collection has never been thoroughly inventoried or valued, according to David McClure's Royal Legacy, How the Royal Family Have Made, Spent, and Passed on Their Wealth. Its estimated value exceeds £10 million, with some estimations reaching £100 million. The Moritz's Blue Stamp, one of the collection's stamps, is estimated to be worth $2 million or more. In 1904, George V paid £1,450 for it. Moving on, can you believe that the royals also work? Well, they do. The royals are mostly employed. Sort of. They may not be working in the conventional sense, but they are not idle all day. With 5,493 remarks under his belt, Prince Philip calls himself the world's most seasoned plaque unveiled. King Charles III oversees 13 charities. The royal family, however, often carries out royal obligations, which mostly involve making appearances at charitable events, giving speeches, and holding parties. According to Insider, the royal family has about 2,000 engagements, entertains 70,000 visitors, and responds to 100,000 letters per year. 162 important events were attended by the late Queen personally in 2016. The majority of this is done for ceremonial, political, and diplomatic purposes. The royals may raise money for various charities, but they don't actually make any money off of it. Instead, it's one factor contributing to their high spending. Who doesn't like traveling? Each year, the royal family racks up a sizable travel expense, much to the chagrin of some UK taxpayers. Their travel cost is taken out of the sovereign grant. According to the BBC, the monarch and the family spent £228,697 on their very own royal train system in 2017, and spent £4.5 million on official travel. According to the Boston Globe, Prince Philip spent more than £19,000 on a royal train trip when a first-class ticket would have cost £120. Meanwhile, King Charles III and his wife Camilla spent around £154,000 on Cam Force One, their Air Force One equivalents. If the royals earn so much money, they should pay taxes too, right? Well, maybe not. The relationship between the royal family and the British government is essentially unbreakable. The Economist claims that as a result, they are not legally liable for income, capital gains, or inheritance tax. They do not pay taxes on the sum given to them through the sovereign grants, but they do pay taxes on their investments and some of the income from the privy purse. The royal family has a lot of people who work for them, but the royal family's several estates, and to be honest, the royal family itself, require an army of workers to keep things going. The royal family had at least 436 employees in 2017. Total personnel costs were £19.5 million, $26.4 million, with salaries ranging from £14,368, $19,454, to £213,633, $289,259. The Crown also spent £17.8 million, $24.1 million on property maintenance, £3.1 million, $4.2 million on utilities, and £2.2 million, $2.9 million on housekeeping that same year. Educating the kids is the most important thing in an ordinary person's house. And so too for the royal family. Members of the British royal family will not succeed with public education. In 2017, Prince George, the 9-year-old son of Prince William and Princess Catherine, enrolled at Thomas's Battersea School in London. For pupils in grades 4 through 7, there are 3 terms in a school year, with tuition and expenses totaling $7,809. Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis's tuition won't be as expensive because fewer families will enroll children after them, which lowers the price for each additional child. Prior to starting kindergarten, Prince George attended the West Acre Montessori School in East Walton, Norfolk, England, a short distance from the family's country house, Anmer Hall. According to People magazine, tuition was $55 per day when he entered school in January 2016. In September 2022, George and his siblings started attending the independent preparatory school Lambrook. Depending on the student's year in school, tuition can range from $5,300 to $8,500 per term. Moving on, the royals also love cars and have a wide range of collections. Prince Philip previously possessed a 1954 Aston Martin Lagonda 3-liter drophead coupe, one of the rarest vehicles in the world and estimated to be worth up to $640,000, according to Forbes. He placed it up for auction in 2016. The late Queen Elizabeth's husband also bought an eco-friendly London taxi in 1999 to fit in with the traffic, which he donated to England's Sandringham Museum in 2017. According to People magazine, King Charles III, who is also a car lover, owns a rare 1969 Aston Martin Volante DB6 Mark II. The Haggerty Insurance Appraisal Calculator places the value of an automobile compared to the one driven by Prince William on his wedding day in 2011 at $427,000. Well, clothes are an important thing to reflect a person's personality. The royal family heavily relies on their outfits to show off their sense of regality. Kate Middleton, also known as Catherine, Princess of Wales, is an international fashion star. She possesses a dazzling wardrobe that is priceless and worth millions of dollars. She has occasionally been spotted wearing an Alexander McQueen black and green flowery gown. She most prominently wore the item to the 2019 Portrait Gala and the 2017 BAFTA Awards. Considering that the exquisite item cost $10,605, it's no surprise that she has worn it again. She was seen in Paris in 2017, sporting a Chanel tweed dress, which is estimated to have cost $10,891. Additionally, Harry and Meghan have certain opulent preferences. The Duchess of Sussex posed for the couple's engagement pictures while wearing a $75,000 Ralph & Russo gown. Prince Harry's special Dijon Skinner attire for the wedding cost about $10,246, but that is scarcely comparable to Meghan's Givenchy wedding gown, which set her back about $265,000. Moving on, the royals have expensive taste when it comes to gifting something to their loved ones. According to reports, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle started dating in May 2016. He liked to pamper her with expensive gifts. Some of these included a gold Maya Brenner necklace that is not so subtly embellished with the letters M and H, which sell for about $3,000, and a Cartier love bracelet that is worth approximately $6,650. According to People magazine, the prince reportedly spent thousands of dollars on a piece of art by British artist Van Donna titled "Everybody Needs Somebody to Love," before news of their connection became public in October 2016. This was allegedly done for an important person. Additionally, the Daily Star reported in June 2017 that the prince intended to surprise Markle with a $41,000 Mini Cooper. Wow, that journey was really interesting and informational, wasn't it? We sincerely hope that you like seeing the royal family's income and expenses. If so, please click the like button and share your thoughts about the video in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this, you can also subscribe to the channel to get new videos on informational topics from around the world. We appreciate you giving us your valuable time. And until then, have a nice day.